least it's all that's left of you. Backdoor things stormed out in a mood. Curtain call shows that you won't leave soon. Just gotta get your head in the right place. Alone, so you fake it. Come back, but you're not changing. I thought we wanted the same thing. I'm so tired of running, and all the hearts you're running. Another small an apology. We all fake love the same way. Tell me what you really mean. I thought we wanted the same thing. Another lie to keep the peace. We all fake love the same way. A beating heart lies beneath your floor. Buried deep, the truth that you want more. I'll let you stay cause I'm lonely. Speaking soft, you say hold me. I fall for it every time. You always hear the same damn lies. We all fake love the same. Pretend to numb the pain. I'm so tired of running, and all the hearts you're running. Another smile and apology. We all fake love the same way. Tell me what you really mean. I thought we wanted the same thing. Another lie to keep the peace. We all fake love the same way. Another smile and apology. We all fake love the same.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another installment of Touchline Talk. In today's exciting installment, what we are going to be doing is trying to establish what do City actually needs to do realistically to get Champions League football. Now, it's all well and good saying, you know, just win all your games and you'll be a happy boy. But what are the chances that we are actually going to win all our games? That is the question. That is the question. So what I thought would be fun to do today is to try to visualize it and get a bigger picture of the actual Premier League table and how we think it could end realistically. Again, we might just win all the games and this becomes a moot point. But there are a couple of tricky fixtures in there. So at least for the starting section of today's show, I thought it might be fun to have a go at trying to figure out who's going to go where and blah 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 blah, and then maybe we can have a chat about, you know, maybe the Palace game, and then you know, like the transfers that have been happening, etc. If we have time at the end, of course, we shall see. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Hello, Naveen. I don't know if you've seen this, but what do you think of League One and saying De Bruyne isn't even top 20 midfielders in Prem history? There's no way I refuse to believe he said that. And if he did, he must be on the wind-up, surely. Hello, Omega. Opinions on the dream transfers. You want Wharton, Branthwaite, Wirtz, Chevalier, Cambiasso, and dribbling. Rodrigo never happening out. Kovra, Kanji, Ederson, Silva, Nunes, if we get a good offer. So how much money are you spending there? Wharton's going to be like, what? This is a lot of money, that's all. How much is Wharton and Branthwaite going to be? That might be close to 100 million in itself. Wirtz over 100 million, easy. Chevalier maybe like 40-ish. Cambiasso 50, 60-ish. There's just a lot of P there. I just wonder if we have that much money to spend. Hello, Dash, how you doing? Hayes to go on loan next season, or will he be integrated into the first team next season? I think it will depend on what happens with Stones and Ake, in all honesty. If Stones stays, then I can, and I can definitely see Barr not being a part of the side, just by virtue of numbers. It also depends what's happening with Gavardio. He has been impressing a lot at centre-back. I'm still of the view that he's a little bit wasted on ball at centre-back, at least. I know off ball, it's obviously his best position. So if Gavardio's been playing at centre-back as well, then maybe that is the situation. I do assure you there will ultimately be a Haste video on this channel. It's just not an urgent priority right now. And there will be an Echeverry video, just not a priority right now. Everton Villa, tough ones this season. Big up to you, Herbal. how have you been? Yes, it was my mum's birthday over the week. Thank you guys so much for those kind words to her. But anyway, without further ado, guys, let's get started. And as I say, maybe we can pivot into like a transfer window chat. But in the first instance, good evening, Seb. In the first instance, what I want to do is try to visualize the Premier League table, and I want all of us to try to go through the fixtures the City have, and indeed that our rivals have, and see where we think we will end up realistically. Now, shout out to, I'm sure there might be better sites to do this, but this one came up and I liked the look of it, and it's a Grimsby site, so big up to the Fishy, the independent Grimsby town sites, if you guys want to play along at some point. This is like just one of those calculators where you pop in the teams you want to do, and then you pick the fixtures, and then it will spurt out what it thinks the table will be. Well, no, what the table will be based on the calculations you've done. Now, I've not picked every single team here. I'm essentially just picking our rivals, the rivals for the top 5. Does anyone think that I should be adding other teams here? Like, obviously, Forest, Newcastle, City, Chelsea, Villa are definitely our top 5 rivals. Bournemouth are only 6 points behind us, as are Fulham. I don't know if it's worth including them as well. Instinctively, I would suspect that Bournemouth aren't really going to be pushing for top 5. But let me know if you think I should add Bournemouth and or Fulham, and I can do that as well. The other results of the teams that aren't selected, it will just try to auto-generate, but those fixtures won't impact top 5 anyway. So I just need to pick the sides that we think are going to be actually contenders for the top 5. If you guys think Bournemouth qualify for that, let me know. As I say, they are only 6 points behind us at the end of the day. As you guys are telling me that, so let me just have a look-see. What are your thoughts about Pep's comments about the centre-back situation? What did Pep say, sorry? What did he say about the centre-back situation? Was it essentially that Stones is always injured? Yeah. And we shall see this summer. Will he leave? Will he be allowed to leave? 6 points is nothing. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Sebastian says they don't stand a chance. And let's take that to fruition, shall we? Hello, Musty. Let's take that to fruition. I will add Bournemouth. I'm not going to add Fulham, even though they're on the same points as Bournemouth. But there we go. What we are doing is we are trying to see whether City are going to get top 5 football. We are going to predict the fixtures. So this, again, shout out to this site. This has now generated all the relevant games from those sides. There's not too many, in fairness, because we've only selected a few sides and there's only 6 games left and there is some crossover here. So what we're going to do now is go through each one of these fixtures. I've added Bournemouth, yeah, don't you worry. These are not just City's fixtures. They are also our top 5 rival fixtures. So we're going to go through every single one. See, you say we're getting third, and maybe we are. Let's see if we shall. Let's see if we are going to do that, shall we? Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. I'm going to give my thoughts, and then you guys can... I'm not going to spend too much time on all of them. Like, you know, Palace, Bournemouth, that's got, like, draw written on all over it, probably. But, you know, Newcastle, Palace, for example, I think that Newcastle are going to be too much for them. Again, if you heavily disagree with any of my comments, feel free to get your thoughts in. We'll spend more time on the City sections, obviously. I think Newcastle are going to beat Palace at home. I think that's pretty fine. Palace against Bournemouth. It was at Bournemouth. I'd be more convinced that Bournemouth could get the win. Palace at home could be a little bit tricky. I could envisage like a 1-1 or something like that. So I'm going to pop down a draw there. Again, as I just touched on the Everton situation, let me know if you guys heavily disagree with that. I want this to try to be as community driven as possible, this table. You know, like the Nabinho final predictions table. Please make sure to leave a like on the video, by the way, as you're entering. It's free and it does help. Don't know how many of us there are today, but please make sure to leave a like. Okay, Everton versus City. I would love to predict City to win every single game from now until the end of the season. But I do think we are going to drop points at least once. And I can see this game being one of those games, to be honest with you. Everton are one of those sides where, I mean, at the start of the season, they were stinky, but they've sort of been playing a little bit better recently. Didn't they also recently. They only just lost against Liverpool 1-0. And then they took points off someone else as well. Was it Arsenal? I can't recall exactly. The fact it's at Goodison as well, Musty, is huge. I'm personally erring on the side of draw, and I don't want to predict. Yeah, Everton City screams 1-1 draw, says Matthias. Navarro says, I don't see us beating Everton. I would love to say we'll win that. It is away from home. Herbal says we think we'll win, but it's no walkover. Yeah, it's one of those. I don't think we'll lose. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think we're going to lose. I can see it being like a 1-1 or a 0-0. Maybe. I don't think there's going to be that many goals unless we like score early and then get them on the back foot. I'm going to go for a draw there, though. Again, I think that screams like 0-0 or 1-0, that sort of thing. They drew against Liverpool at Goodison. Oh yeah, you're right. I thought they. Oh yeah, was it at Anfield they won? Is that what I'm misremembering? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah. You're right, Musty. My brain might be farting. They just beat Forest 1-0. That was the one, was it, Omar? Yeah. So they aren't any slouches. They're no slouches. Now this is a massive fixture. This is potentially, apart from the game City are involved in, from our perspective, this is probably the most important game. We know Liverpool and Arsenal are finishing first and second. There are three spots being fought against between 5 teams, is it? There or thereabouts. I'm very convinced that Newcastle are going to get top 5. So if that's my starting point, I need Aston Villa to fall away. I need them to fall away. A draw, Musty, would probably be perfect for City. Because that means that 4 points have been lost collectively. Whereas if a team wins, then that means that only 3 points have been lost. A draw means that 4 points net have been lost. So I would love a draw to happen. But what do we actually think is going to happen again? I do actually think that could be a draw. Newcastle are the better side. It's at Villa Park. This will be after they've probably been... This will be like a few days after they've been probably knocked out of the Champions League as well. So the Villa players will, in theory, be tired as well. You know, putting in a shift. Is it tonight against PSG? Am I saying copium by saying a draw, or do we actually think a draw is reasonable? Siman says keep KDB false 9 and Marmish left wing for all games now. I might be cooking something, Siman. I might be cooking it. Certainly for the games where we don't have wide players. I'm cooking something. Like, let's just say that. Even if we sign the verts or even if we don't sign the verts, I'm cooking. A draw or Newcastle win, but both work. I think that's going to be a draw. Fulham, Chelsea. Now, so far this has been pretty good. A lot of points have been dropped. Excuse me. Fulham, Chelsea. I know that. No, I was going to say Chelsea are on this downward trend. Fulham, good team. It's in Fulham. It's a London derby. I don't see Chelsea winning that one either. And again, I know they've been having really bad form recently as well. I think that's going to continue. I could actually see a Fulham win there, maybe. I could even maybe see a Fulham win. Maybe a draw. I certainly can't see a Chelsea win. That's all I want to say for this particular section. Linny says draw, Newcastle, Villa. I think we win because it's not 12:30. Herbal says Everton will park the bus and they'll do it good, so we have to be smart. Yeah, definitely. Fulham, Chelsea is a tricky fixture. It is. I feel like I'm doing too many draws here. I definitely don't think Chelsea win it. That's all I'm saying. What's Chelsea's record? A Fulham win, says Lakshmi. I wouldn't be surprised if Fulham beat Chelsea. I wouldn't be surprised either. I would not be surprised either. Am I really going to predict a 4th draw in a row? Or am I just going to lock in a Fulham win? Again, Chelsea are stinky. And they have been stinky. I'm gonna go Fulham to win that one. Yeah, sod it. Sod it, to be honest. Fulham scrape a 3-2, says Faisal. I'm doing it. Sack this off. I'm going for it. Moffat says we're going to end up 5th at best. Hey, that's what today's prediction table is to find out, mate. Chelsea are basically Fulham's bogey team, says Futuristic. They always lose to them no matter the form. What is the record? What is the record then between the two? The recent record. Shall I have a look? Fulham versus Chelsea record. Let's have a look. See, when was the last time they got a result? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Agree to all the cookies. Why not? So this is Chelsea's record against Fulham. The last fixture they lost. And that was at Chelsea. It's loss, win, win, draw, loss, and then a load of wins in a row until 2006, in fairness. But there have been 2 defeats in 2 years. There have been 2 defeats in 2 years. And one of those was also a draw, and that was at Stamford Bridge. 26th of December, they lost. And then 12th of Jan 2023, they lost. I'm going Fulham. Fuck it. Right. Spurs, Forest, as my mouse runs out of power. We love to see that. We really do. Spurs, Forest. Sorry, did I say Spurs, Palace? Spurs versus Forest. That's the wrong cable, guys. Where is my bloody cable for my... What a shambles this is, lads. Talk me through this one, boys. Who's winning this one? Who is winning against Spurs, Forest? Again, it is at Spurs. Spurs are one of those annoying sides where you just don't really know what you're going to get. It's very frustrating. It makes it very hard to do a prediction, therefore. You guys are all saying Forest win, yeah, fairs. I think that's probably realistic. Let's go for that. Let's say the away team are going to win that one. Yeah, boom. Right, okay, another City one here. The game Ange gets sacked. Whoa, high stakes. Right, this is, again, for City's perspective, this is the biggest game. Because this is the definition of a 6-pointer. Yeah? If we win this game, then I think that probably takes Aston Villa out of the top 5 picture, in all likelihood. If we lose, then we can't lose. We can't lose that game, man. We have to win. What's annoying is I think we're going to draw. I actually do think we're going to draw. And that's bad because that means I've predicted us to drop 4 points already. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Musty says we're going to win it. Got a feeling it's going to be a draw. We're going to draw, says Ariaman. Fives says we're going to win 2-0. A draw, says Matthias. Linny says that Dash is spot on. That it's going to be a draw. We're beating Villa. Grealish hat-trick, says Naveen. I think that's a lot of copium there. Win against Villa and Everton, and we'll be in a great position. Next 2 games are must-wins. They are, now, Herbal, I agree, they are must-wins, but what do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're going to beat Aston Villa? Most people who've commented so far have said draw. The consensus so far is draw. My brain is telling me draw. Raw Treaters call the winner. Shut up. What do you guys think? Well, there's over 100 people watching. Please make sure to leave a like on the video. Omega says win. Yeah, if you guys want your views to count, get them in the chat right now so I know what to put here. I'm trying, even though this is obviously my table, I am trying to have as much input from you guys as possible as well. Villa have PSG, Newcastle, then us all in a week. We should beat them due to fatigue. I would love to think that. I'd love to think that's what's going to happen. Villa, yeah, KDB and Gundo are going to relive the moment. Yeah, I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to be hopeful. I think, look, we saw against Palace, the attacking situation, even without Haaland, isn't absolutely detrimental. They do have really tough fixtures the week prior. I'm going to be confident and say that's an important win that we get. I think we will do that one. But that is a must-win. Herbal said it. That is a must-win for me. Definitely. Right, Chelsea, Everton. I know I just had to go Chelsea. They are at home. I think Chelsea will get over the line there. I'm not going to speak too much on that. Again, Newcastle, Ipswich. That's an easy win for Newcastle. Bournemouth, Man United. United are shit. I'm going to say Bournemouth will win that one. I'm just speeding through a couple of these because these are quite straightforward. Forest, Brentford is not easy, to be fair, for Forest. Brentford can keep things tight if they need to. I'm not saying Brentford will win. I don't think that will happen. But there is a world where Forest drop points to Brentford. Am I doing heavy copium there, lads? Or is it reasonable to say that Forest can draw against Brentford? Or am I just like, as I say, am I living in a cartoon world there? Stinks of a 2-all. Brentford away are pooey. Omega says draw. Brentford doing good. I say draw. Draw. Brentford win, says Naveen. 3-all. I think, yeah, I think a draw is on the cards there. I think a draw is on the cards there. And that's big, because that means that Forest are dropping 2 points. So this is not looking terrible. Omega, by the way, shout out to you for following the Twitch. Big up to you, mate. Okay, another City game here. City versus Wolves. If we don't beat fucking Wolves, then we don't deserve top 5. We're winning that game. Yeah? Come on, guys. Have faith. We can definitely win that game. Where are Wolves in the table? Where are Wolves in the table? I'll tell you right bloody now. I'll tell you right bloody now where they are. They're 16th. They're behind Man United. That's how you know they're shit. Oh my god, they're on a fucking 4-game winning streak. Hello? I didn't realise it was that good. Okay. I knew they came into some form recently. To be fair, that is Southampton and Ipswich and Spurs and, you know, West Ham at home. But yeah, I don't care. I don't care. We're beating bloody Wolves, okay? I don't care. It's happening. We're beating them. Allow it. Allow it. Okay. Villa Fulham. Now, the Fulham one's interesting because by this point, Fulham won't have anything to play for, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they are in great form, but who cares? Allow it, allow it. I don't think Fulham have anything to play for. And this does... I know it's tricky because we are just trying to do it on an individual game basis. But we do have to try and also consider as much as we can, like, you know, a league table state. You get me? And I do agree, Musty. I do think that Fulham will be like, not playing for anything. Villa, on the other hand, especially if we're saying they've just lost to us, they'll need to bounce back with a win. Definitely. Okay. Arsenal, Bournemouth. I think Arsenal will just win that relatively comfortably at home. That sort of thing. That'll be fine for them. Realistically, I don't think anyone's going to catch up to Arsenal either, by the way. I think if anyone could, it might be City or Newcastle, but I don't think so. Okay. Brighton, Newcastle. The saving grace is it is in Brighton, but there is a Fulham syndrome here where Brighton are at this point where they're not really playing for anything versus a side who are desperately gunning for top 5 and Champions League football. On the beaches, Fenway, I believe, is the term you're after. On the beaches. And that works for Brighton because Brighton are literally, you know, on the coast or whatever. Ian says we can do it, so let's find out at the end of this table. Musty says a Newcastle win. I can see a Newcastle win. At most a draw. Brighton ain't winning. Surely not. Brighton are at home. We could hope for a draw, but come on, Newcastle in great form. Herbal, I totally agree. This is another big one. And games like this are why I think Chelsea are not guaranteed to fall out of the top 5. But if you had to predict any side to fall out of that top 5, you know, or just not make it, you know, City, Forest, Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea. I think Chelsea are the one because their fixtures are horrible. They are horrible fixtures. And this is another one. I don't know if Liverpool will have won the league by this point, but either way, you know, Mo Salah is chasing the assists record. He's already broken the record for like what most goal contributions or something in a Premier League season, whatever. I don't see Liverpool doing that thing where, oh, we've won the title, now we're going to take our foot off the gas. They might not have anything to play for, Musty, but again, I just don't know if I see it like that. I think that they will get the win. Does anyone really think Liverpool will be on them? They want that guard of honour. Liverpool can win the league next week. Chelsea, I'm going to say Liverpool win that one, personally. If anyone massively disagrees, let me know. But Chelsea reek, Liverpool are good, and yeah, they'll have won the title by then, but oh well. No worries, German Chicken Wing. How you doing, matey? Okay. Palace, Forest. Again, it is at Palace. This is sort of like a game where we might want to hope for a draw. It's just whether we think one is realistic. We have just predicted them to draw at home against Brentford. Do we think they're also going to drop points again against Palace? Palace Forest is a low-key draw. Hey, if you guys think it is a draw, that's great news, because that means they're dropping more points. Dash says draw. I see a Palace win there. Matthias says draw. Yeah, Naveen Musty draw. Elias draw. Even Liverpool's cup squad could probably draw against the current Chelsea squad, yeah. Timmy says Liverpool will win the previous one, yeah. Draw written all over it. It's going to be a stinky draw. This is great news, boys and girls, because that means Forest to drop more points. I'll zoom in a little bit, actually. There we go. Just to make it a bit easier to see for you. I think, would it be 3 in a row, B? I think it was, a treble. A draw is a realistic result, but I just think they'll lose. Yeah, we're trying to be as realistic as possible, of course. Newcastle, Chelsea, again. Look at Chelsea's fixtures. They've just played the champions, probably by then Liverpool, or the team that might become champions against them, and now they've got to go away to St. James's Park. There's surely no way that Chelsea get top 5. Yeah, this is going to be quite, I think, surely a Newcastle win. Yeah, a relatively easy win as well. I think so. And by this point, we'd probably want a Chelsea win. I feel like, I mean, must you say a draw? I think maybe even at this point, Chelsea will be nearly out of the picture. I can't, but I would love to see, Chelsea win. I'd love to see Chelsea draw maybe, but I can't, especially at this point, can't see anything other than a Newcastle win. Now, I know City have been out of form, but even I'm going to say we beat Southampton away. I don't really care. We are going to beat, I'm sorry, Jack. We are going to beat Southampton away. It's a thing. Southampton are objectively the worst team in the Premier League. Well, them and Leicester, whatever. We're going to beat them. That's fine. That's fine. I'm comfortable in predicting 3 points there. I'm comfortable in predicting 3 points. Another massive game. This is massive. Marmish Gordon boot push against Southampton, yeah. Bournemouth are at home against Aston Villa. Now, at this point, Bournemouth have dropped a load of points, so they aren't even really in contention for top 5. And they're at home. So they aren't playing for anything, in fairness. It is still Bournemouth at their ground. And they will not be a pushover at home. I don't think Bournemouth will get the win. I can maybe see a draw, though. I can see both sides dropping points. You know, like a 1-1 or a 2-1. Relatively high-scoring draw. Low-key Bournemouth win. Aston Villa will win, says Ayushi. Ayushi says, clip that for when we're begging Newcastle to beat Chelsea. Bournemouth away is tricky. It is tricky. I don't know if I'm comfortable in saying Aston Villa win. I appreciate I'm predicting a lot of draws here, but I do think that a lot of these fixtures do warrant it. 1-1 is realistic. 3-1 Bournemouth, says Moffat. Well, we would love that. We would love that. Not too many people predicting a Villa win, and in which case, I'm going for what I also think is going to happen, and that's a draw. Forest Leicester, yeah, that's going to happen. Now, here's a big one. We might need to become Arsenal fans for a day. We might need Arsenal to do us a favour here. Because at this point, Arsenal aren't going to get caught up. Like, it's fine. It's whatever. It doesn't matter. They're finishing second. That's fine. That's cool. Newcastle, however, I would say are along with City, the sides who most likely will be getting top 5. If it was like a 1-1, they would be our biggest rival at this point, Newcastle. We need Newcastle to drop points here. Now, the issue is that, again, Arsenal won't really be playing for anything by this point. This is the penultimate game, although it will be their last home game of the season. It will be their last home game, so it's not like they can roll over. Also, there's been a thing this season There's been a thing this season between Arsenal and Newcastle. It's gotten a bit nasty at times. You know, is there like a little rivalry blooming there? Question mark. Arsenal aren't going to, like, you know, make it easy for Newcastle. And again, we really need... Craig Lee says Newcastle will finish second. I hope not, matey. I hope not. I can see not Newcastle winning that one. I'm not saying they're going to lose, but there is no world in which Arsenal are... I mean, obviously no side is fine with losing, but especially based on the context that's happened this season, there is no way Arsenal become like a pushover in that match. There's no way they don't go all in and all for it. I'm not predicting a Newcastle win there. I simply can't. But what do you guys reckon? Arsenal-Newcastle, what do you think? Musty says, I'll be a massive gooner that day. No, I think we're being quite realistic here, Fenway. I won't like... Which ones do you not think are being realistic? I think these are all pretty good so far. I think this is decent. Any chance for Forest to drop out the top 5? I don't think so, TP Link. We'll see. We have put Forest in the predictions. We'll see. Arsenal would not like to lose to Newcastle 4 times in a row. That's what I'm thinking. Surely Newcastle won't win. Newcastle, Arsenal, battle of real tough kids against wannabe tough kids. Just before they get spamped by Barca. Oh, true. They'll probably be in the Champions League by then, of course, yeah. I see a Newcastle win. They always seem to do it against Newcastle. This can be decided for second place. Arsenal, Newcastle. Newcastle 3. It depends how far Arsenal in the Champions League. Let's assume they get to the semi-final stage. I don't know when, like, the legs will be. Let's say they're still in it by that point. I think Newcastle win, really? Okay. Most people there are saying, like, a Newcastle win, I feel like. We'll go for that then. Okay, well, that is horrible for us. But, you know, it's not about what we want. It's about what we think will happen. If you guys think that, that's absolutely fine. Villa Spurs. Yeah, Villa win. Yeah. Chelsea Man United. Oh, my God. This is like the battle of the dysfunctional systems. Yeah, United are properly shit. Yeah, Chelsea will win that one, I think. Right. City Bournemouth. Thankfully, again, we used the Bournemouth situation earlier. Thankfully, it is away from home for them. And this is the last game at the Etihad of the season. Bournemouth have nothing to play for here. We are fighting for our lives for top 5. Does anyone think we don't beat Bournemouth? I'm pretty sure that we will beat Bournemouth. You guys are saying a draw? No! Oh, no! Oh, gosh, but it's the last Etihad game. Bournemouth have nothing to play for. We battered them away a couple of weeks ago. True. Matthias says Bournemouth will have dropped off by then. KDB last game. We should thrash them. That's a good point. De Bruyne's last game in the Etihad. Nathan Ake hat-trick. 3-1 City. We should have battered them last time. I'm going to go 3-0 City. Win. I think we win that one. I'm not saying we're going to beat them 5-0. Hard to think we'll drop points in the KDB send-off game. Yeah, surely. We're not drawing against 10th fucking Bournemouth. Yeah. I don't think that's unfair to say that City are going to win that one. Yeah. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Again, it's the penultimate match week. Bournemouth are nowhere. They're just chilling. They don't have anything to play for. We have a lot to play for. It's De Bruyne's last game at the Etihad. It's our last game at the Etihad this season. Again, yeah, you're absolutely right. Bournemouth don't obviously perform as well away. As long as you got City in that top 5, Craig, then I'll accept that. I don't care, as long as we're there. 3-0 Marmouche hat-trick. Okay. West Ham versus Forest. West Ham will be in a similar situation. Don't really have anything to play for. Forest will. The only saving grace is it is at West Ham. Can anyone here envisage... I'm just going to give Bournemouth the winner against Leicester. Does anyone here envisage Forest dropping points here? Again, it is away, but... And it's West Ham's last home game of the season. It's just a question of how up for it are West Ham, really. Forest will still be in the mix by that point. They will be Because we've predicted them to drop points a couple of times as well, haven't we? We predicted them to drop 2 points there, 2 points there. So there's a chance that they won't even be fourth. They might be fifth by that point. Forest win, yeah. Should we just go for a Forest win? I think you're probably right, guys. That's reasonable. Haaland will be back for that one. Oh, the last game of the season? Maybe. Hopefully we don't need to win the last game of the season. We'll see. Yeah, Forest win. A couple of draws, but I think in the main, you guys are saying Forest win. Again, I'm going to give Bournemouth the win against Leicester. Right, so we are now in the final match week. Fulham against City. United against Villa. Newcastle, Everton, and I'm just going to give Newcastle the win there. I think Newcastle might be finishing third by virtue of our predictions, guys. Have we even predicted them to drop points? Newcastle. We predicted them to beat Arsenal, beat Chelsea, beat Brighton, beat Ipswich, draw against Villa in fairness, and beat Palace. So we've only predicted them to drop points once. So that means Newcastle will finish ahead of City. I think that means they will finish third as well. We'll see, though. Yeah, so what have we got here? What we were doing? Yeah, Fulham, City. Everton away is the hardest game, says Moffat. Pierre, I don't actually know. We're going to win at Fulham. We're going to beat Fulham, says Omar. Easy City win. Sending KDB off on a high. Newcastle are good. They are very good. How many of our players are back by Fulham? I think Akanji will definitely be back. Haaland probably will be back as well. Yeah, I think outside of the obvious injuries, I think everyone will be back. Maybe Bob will be good enough to start by that point. Who knows? Newcastle will surely lose against Brighton or at least draw. I'd have them drop points against Arsenal as well, but oh well. I would as well, to be fair, but you guys in the main wanted Newcastle to win, so that's reasonable. It should be a City win, but it's not easy. We're going to beat Fulham and Villa to beat the Rag, says Linny. If we are in talks, it's a definite win. Yeah, so by this point, City are still definitely in the mix. A Nobbins Arndale Shop's tier list. Lego Shop, number 1. Oh, speaking of that, I went to the doctor's yesterday. Everything's fine. But I also went to the Lego Shop yesterday. You'll never guess who I saw in there. I saw Sam Lee. You know, a City journalist. Like, I think he was with his partner and his little girl. It's very cute. They were shopping for Lego. It's very cute. I was like, Sam Lee? That was weird, but there we go. Old Trafford will be half empty. What do we do if the simulation shows a 6th? Then we'll have to go back and remedy it. So I think City win. I do think City will win, especially if it's a game where we need to win it. I think we will. United, Villa. It is at Old Trafford, but United are shit. I think Villa will probably win that one, in all honesty. And Forest, Chelsea. Yeah, Forest will win that one. I didn't say hi. He was with his partner and his little girl, and I was with people as well, so I didn't want to go say hi. That'd be weird. A Lego of Sam Lee. No, I just thought like actual Sam Lee. Right, guys. The moment of truth. I didn't actually buy anything. I was just browsing. Okay, I don't think we need to do goal difference. I think we'll be fine. I think we haven't actually predicted City to lose. So I do think that City will get top 5 here, but let's see what the table is. Oh my gosh, it's so right. So we've predicted wow. We've predicted Newcastle to finish on the same points as Arsenal. Only goal difference separating us. Arsenal and Newcastle. Goal difference is also separating City and Forest on the same points. The good news is that even if the goal difference is bad, look, there is a big gap between City and Villa and Chelsea. I mean, look at Chelsea. We've predicted them to drop so many points. So many points. 6. How many points are they on right now? They're on 54 right now, so we've only predicted them to get 6 points from the last 6 games. Right, okay. Take a screenshot, says Ayush. Yeah, guys, if you want to clip this up, if you want to see what happens, then this is what we have decided. Now, I would take this. I think you've got to take this. Top 5 is Champions League football. Only 4 points off second place as well. Yeah, considering that we had, what was that? Was it a run of 13 games or something where we didn't win or only won 1 in that period of time? Something mental. So what we've concluded here, basically, is that Newcastle are definitely finishing ahead of us. So forget it. We might as well put Newcastle in the Arsenal category. Forget it. Our rivals are Forest and Villa. Especially if we think that Chelsea are just done, then they aren't even here. Realistically, our rivals are Forest, Villa. Now, this, oh my god, and I've just realised, right? If I go back, will it keep all the predictions? Now look at what happens if we lose against Villa. And now we go to 5th, and only goal difference separates City and Villa. That, I'm not saying that's going to happen. What I am saying is that is how crucial that match is. That is the definition of a 6-pointer. It's either going to make it so that we finish relatively comfortably ahead of them, or we are going to get dragged into the battle for 5th place, and it's going to be squeaky bum time last game of the season when we go away to Fulham. Yeah? That's how important that game is. Now, I don't think that will happen. I'm in danger. Yeah, Ralph from The Simpsons. Now, I do think that we will beat Villa. I certainly don't think we'll lose. Hello, Connor. How you doing, mate? Connor, I'm sorry you're a Chelsea fan, mate. We've predicted you to finish 7th. I'm so sorry. But you've got such a hard run, mate. We're just trying to do a Premier League prediction thing here. I think De Bruyne should help Newcastle, and they give us Tonali. Haaland's goals will make us have a good summer window, says Musty. Delusion possibly, but De Bruyne's performance versus Palace makes me feel like we're going on a run. We must win against Everton, says Spooder. I think we said a draw, in fairness. So, what did we say for City? We said that we were going to draw against Everton. This is the scenario where we lose against Villa. I think we predicted a win for every other one. Yeah, home against Wolves, home against Bournemouth, away against Southampton, should be winning those. And then last day of the season. I'm just going to go back to saying that City beat Newcastle to make it a bit nicer. Anything else? So, I mean, Craig says Newcastle will get top 2. Now, if they beat Villa, in fairness, if Newcastle beat Villa, then all of a sudden, Craig, who is the Newcastle fan, then that does happen. Based on our predictions, that does also involve winning at the Emirates, and that also makes the Villa situation a lot nicer for us. Here is my conclusion from today's thought experiment and simulator. We have to sack off Newcastle as a top 5 competitor. They aren't being touched by us. They are playing better football than us right now. They seem to have even though they have harder runs, we all seem more confident that they are going to finish ahead of us. I think we almost have to put Newcastle in the Arsenal bracket and go, realistically, we're not actually going to finish ahead of you. And I don't mind doing that. But that does mean that that top 3 is locked in of whatever order you think it will be, whether it's Liverpool, Newcastle, Arsenal, or Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle. Doesn't really matter. Our competitors are Forest and Villa, and maybe Chelsea, depending on how much joy you want to give them. Again, we don't seem to want to give them much joy. I'm going to need an American translation for sack off. If you're sacking something off, it means you're going to forget about it. You're forgetting it. If you sack something off, it means you're not doing it. You're forgetting it. So when I say we need to sack them off as like top 5 rivals, I'm saying that we just need to forget about it and move on and move past that. Exactly. And this is the thing for me. We are at the point now where it doesn't matter. We're not playing for anything in the league other than just get top 5. Doesn't matter. Now, it technically does matter because you get more money if you finish 2nd compared to 5th, and obviously if you finish higher up the table. All that matters, though, is getting Champions League football. That is what we are after. I'm just going to go back, and we're just going to put the final one. So we did predict Newcastle to draw against Villa, and I think that's that. I didn't realise it would be that close between Newcastle and Arsenal, though. Deary me. Deary me. I would love Arsenal to beat Newcastle, obviously. And if that does happen, then it means all of a sudden we're only 1 point behind them. There we go. Yes, it's going to be an exciting end. Absolutely. Manchester nightclub tier list. Yeah, big up to the Lego, by the way. I'm a big Lego Star Wars fan. I saw a video today reviewing a new set that's going to be released in a couple of weeks, the Ultimate Collector Series Slave 1, Jango Fett's from Attack of the Clones. I want that. I might get that for myself at some point. It is 300 quid, but I don't care. I want it. Give me 4th and an FA Cup, and I'm buzzing 100%. Nah, Andres, we don't want him to play a minute this season. Yeah, it's one of the best midfielders. I said this on the top 6 months ago in 2024, and I got laughed at. I got laughed at by saying they've got, arguably the best or one of the best midfields in the Premier League. And people are like, nah. It's like, but they do. They do. Swines. I've no idea how we beat Newcastle. We just need to do our job and we get Champions League and then we can move. Yes, definitely. Does anyone think that I've been unrealistic here with City's fixtures? Let me know if anyone thinks there's any copium happening here or hopium. I've said draw against Everton. I've said win against Villa. I've said win at home against Wolves. I've said win away against Southampton. It's also for the display that it's like an art piece. I think I've put win at home against Bournemouth. Win away against Fulham. Does anyone think any of those are unrealistic? I don't know if they are. Now, again, I haven't predicted us to lose once, but we do have a favourable run-in. The hardest game is probably maybe like Villa at home or even Fulham away. Even Everton away, maybe. There's surely no way we're going to win all of them, though. I don't think we'll lose any of the games from now to the end of the season, but I don't think we'll win them all either. I think it's reasonable. Villa draw and the Bournemouth loss. What? You think we're going to lose at home against Bournemouth, really? Oh, come on. It's the penultimate game of the season. Bournemouth have nothing to play for, and it's KDB's last game, and it's City's last game at the Etihad this season. You really think Bournemouth are going to win? That's I think that's... I thought you were going to say like a draw, maybe. A win's mental, surely. I can maybe see a Villa draw. I think a Bournemouth loss is mad. If I change this one to a draw, I don't think that changes anything. Whoa, so shut up, Jack. That doesn't change anything for us. We still finish top 5, even if we draw against Villa. Even if we lose against Bournemouth somehow, we still finish 5th. There you go. I think this is incredibly negative. Even if we draw against Villa and lose against Bournemouth and draw against Everton, we still finish in the top 5. Look at that. It is on goal difference, but we still finish there. So that's big. That's big. Do I want us to keep playing with the Palace system? I can see a vision. I can see a vision, but it doesn't involve wingers. And I like Savio and I like Doku. So I don't know. I can see it though. I definitely can. Because definitely what you could do. Rob says that's not realistic. Chelsea will finish above 60 points. Let's go back then. Which games have we got wrong for Chelsea then? Because again, Chelsea have a mental run-in. Fulham away. I think Fulham win that one. Chelsea, Everton at home, though. We've put Chelsea to win that one. Chelsea at home to Liverpool. I think Liverpool win that one. Chelsea against Newcastle. I think Newcastle win that one. Chelsea at home against Man United. I do think Chelsea will win that one. Then last day of the season, Forest away. I think they lose that one. Which results would you change there for Chelsea? That seems pretty realistic to me. What if we win every game? Then we finish second, probably. I imagine we'd finish second if that was the case. I'm not LB, I'm LN. Yeah, it's hard. See, it's hard, isn't it, Rob? It's hard. Chelsea. When you look at Chelsea's fixtures, it is mental. Especially because they just dropped 2 points against Ipswich at home. It's insane. Against Palace, it worked because KDB pulled out a masterclass. He doesn't have the legs to do that match after match anymore. I think Chelsea lost to Everton, so it might get even worse for them. Either way, I think that we've created a quite realistic top 5 picture there, and that's made me feel a lot better about the end of the season. I think when we win every game, yeah, sure. And that's made me feel a lot better because once again, if we forget about Newcastle for a second, there is a world we could somehow finish second. There is still that opportunity as well. Realistically, 4th. I think 4th is what we're looking at. Okay, what if we win every match? Okay, let's have a look at that then. Let's actually do that. So we're saying we beat Villa. We're saying that. Where else are we? We're saying we beat Southampton. We beat Bournemouth and Fulham. Have I changed the Everton one? There we go. God, still only 4th? Even if we win every single game, we're still only 4th. Because we've said Newcastle are going to win nearly every single game as well. That's the issue. The only way that we can finish 3rd is if Newcastle... I mean, obviously, we have to win basically every single game. But also, Newcastle are going to have to lose. Or draw more than once. We've said they're going to... And this is us saying that they're going to draw against Villa. So 4th is probably realistic. Where did Pep finish in his first season? Was it 3rd? So this would be his lowest ranking. Change the Arsenal result to a draw. Well, if it was a draw, then Newcastle would drop 2 points, and in which case they would go behind us. So if we think that Newcastle will draw at the Emirates, then all of a sudden City are ahead on goal difference. Now, I actually do think that's probably more likely to happen. I don't think Newcastle will win at Arsenal. If anything, I think Arsenal will win. But you see how close it is between those sides. Finished 3rd, yeah, so this would be his lowest, probably his lowest ranking. I'd like this to not be his lowest position in the table, of course. And in an ideal world, we'd have our worst season in however long and still finish 3rd. That would be lovely. But as Herbal rightly says, all that matters is getting that Champions League spot. That's all that matters. Yeah, exactly. If we somehow, again, there is still a world where we amazingly finish ahead of Arsenal as well. If they drop a few more points, unlikely to happen. But yeah, the fact that we are only 3 points off Arsenal in this hypothetical is mental. This isn't the one I think will happen. I think the other one's a lot more realistic. Is that true, Rob? I'm sure he finished 3rd. I'm sure he finished 3rd in his first year. Wasn't it Chelsea and... Or was it 4th? I need to look now. Premier League table 16-17. Yeah, it was 3rd. Yeah, 2 points ahead of Liverpool. 3 points ahead of Ars. Yes, so third in his first season. I'm not LB. Right. That, again, shout out, that website was The Fishy, the independent Grimsby town site. So big up to you. Now that's the Pellegrini year, Rob, you're thinking of. That was the year before Pep. That was Pellegrini's last season that you're getting confused with. Don't you worry. It's a thing. Yeah, big up to The Fishy, the independent Grimsby Town site, for that very helpful Premier League prediction table. By the way, I know we didn't predict all of United's fixtures. This is predicted United to finish 16th and Spurs 17th. Oh my god. That is horrible. Oh dear. Yeah, Chelsea there, 60 points. Again, it's tricky. They've got hard. What's going on there? They've got really hard fixtures. It sounds harsh to say they're only going to pick up 6 more points in the last 6 games, but their fixtures are mental, and those crossover games are big. Crossover games are big. Again, Newcastle playing Villa, and there was another one. I can't remember the other one. Chelsea playing someone else. You get me. Jimmy Five Chins, thank you for the super chat, mate. Big up to you. Why did Pellegrini decline every season since we won the title in 13-14 in Pellegrini's reign? Oh my gosh. What a question. I think poor, to an extent, not refreshing the squad well enough. There were some good signings, obviously, after Pellegrini's first season, like Kevin De Bruyne. But there were too many duds as well, like Fernando. Not really getting proper coverage for Aguero either, because we were still playing 2 strikers back then. Negredo went, Jovetic was not it. Dzeko was still able to do a job, but he wasn't it anymore. I think the Yaya Touré's decline was also massive. I think people don't really maybe discuss that as much, but like, the Touré decline sort of came out of nowhere. Like, his last great season was that 2014 one, and then thereafter he sort of fell off a cliff, didn't he? I think that was a massive factor as well. I also just think Pellegrini's structure was, I don't want to say bad, but it was. Even the year we won the title, like we only won it on like 84 points or something like that. It was good attacking football, but defensively wasn't good enough. Just not putting out the right sides either. Like in Pellegrini's last season, he had Sterling, he had David Silva, he had Kevin De Bruyne, Aguero, and it was just never used properly. Like, Yaya was not good up until... Yaya was not good in... I think after 2015, Yaya was done. He was not good in Pellegrini's last season, and he was never good under Pep. So that decline didn't help. And yeah, what he should have done, if you got Sterling and David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne, and Fernandinho as well. In fact, he had the Centurion midfield, and he nearly had the Centurion attack. He had 2/3 of it. He was just insistent on playing like De Bruyne out wide, or always just like playing Jesus Navas. So yeah, the tools were there to do well, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, he was. I mean, do you guys remember? I know you can't surmise it in one match, but do you guys fucking remember his performance against Real Madrid? Good lord. Good lord. A bit of spark, sure, but you needed more than that. And I feel like by that point, you just couldn't be arsed as well. That was the thing. Sometimes Yaya had a habit of not looking arsed. FA Cup final in Mancini's last match was another one. He just didn't look bothered. Yeah, get the lights up, guys. Let's get 115 likes. You know the drill. There we go. Right. I'm going to be live for like another 10-ish minutes, there or thereabouts. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that thought experiment. Let's get our final... not final, but let's have like another chat for a few minutes. I'm actually going to a concert tonight. I know, yeah. I don't do concerts, but Mrs. Nobbins' favourite band are playing, and she wanted someone to go with her, so I'm going with her. There will be a stream tomorrow night, though. Arsenal against Madrid. Madrid against Arsenal, technically. So that would be live tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Do you think we are going to get Verts? Asks Sage Studios. Honestly, no. I think he's going to go to Bayern, in all honesty. I think he's going to go to Bayern Munich. That would be my prediction. Someone was asking me earlier, though, do you think that we'll persist with, like, the Palace formation? Again, it's a shame I couldn't do content on it, because, again, it was my how dare my mum have a birthday? Selfish. But yeah, so I couldn't really do any content on it, because it was a family affair over the weekend. And next, to be fair, yeah, it was really interesting. It was basically like a sort of in possession 4-2-2, wasn't it? It is a really interesting. The band's called Ghost, by the way. They're sort of like I'll be out of context as I say, musty. They're a Swedish mixed, like a pop, heavy metal sort of situation. They're all right, but they're Mrs. Nobbins' favorite band. Yeah, there is a work, because I've been trying to do this in my head. And I keep trying to think, how do you make a team that's got Marmouche in it, and has Haaland in it, and has Verts in it, and ideally has Foden in it? Am I missing anyone there? And maybe / Echeverry for one of those positions. And how does that actually function as a team? Because I've been struggling with that in the past few weeks. Abinab, thank you so much for a fanatic ultra as well. Incredibly generous of you, mate. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Ultras Club. There is your photo. There's your face. This is now my property. Yeah. And I'm going to commit identity theft and fraud. Your random footballer is Arturo Vidal. By the way, big up to you, mate. Big up to you. Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate that. I'm glad to have you here, my mate. Wonderful stuff. Lovely, strong mustache and beard, by the way. Indeed, Herbal, indeed. But you want to get as many as your stars into one side at once. And we don't actually have to compromise. We can do this. What it does mean, this, and this is what I've been trying to deal with, Jeremy. I actually disagree. I think you can definitely get all of these players into the same team and for it to function very well. We saw the blueprint against Palace. And for whatever reason, again, maybe Pep he's going from one system which has got, all the wingers all the time, dearie me, all the wingers all the time with Savio and Doku. And then he's got this other one, which on paper is incredibly narrow and has no wide players. The width comes purely from the fullbacks. This, to me, suggests that if we do continue to do that, then there are two potential systems we can use. Now, obviously, you can't have all four of these players play and Savio and Doku. That's ridiculous. Like, that will never happen. You can't even if we're going to drop, let's just say we drop Foden for this thought experiment. You can't get Verts, Marmouche, Haaland, Savio, Doku all in the same team. That can't happen. So yeah, even if we're dropping one of these three, as I say, for this point, I'm dropping Foden for argument's sake, you can't get these three and Savio and Doku. You could swap one of these for a Savio or a Doku, or, swap Foden, Verts for Savio, Doku, etc., etc. This is how you could do it, though, and maybe next time I'll get my tactical board out. Did I put it on my phone? I like to mess around on my phone when I'm doing lineups. I'm very sad I don't have a life. This is the team that you could run without wide players. Again, Palace blueprint. Yeah, and we know it works. The width comes from the fullbacks. This is where Cambiasso is massive. Okay? And again, we don't even have to say that Verts is coming. We can swap out Verts for Echeverry if we would like. Another right-footed 10, who we ideally want to play on the right side. This is how it can work, though. Out of possession, 4-3-3, which we've been doing for the past few times. You don't even need to do it. You could do 4-4-2. That works as well, in fairness. That also works. But for argument's sake, let's run with a 4-3-3, because as I say, Pep's been doing it a couple games of late. The front three is... Actually, no, why am I saying this? I should just say, what was Palace? Picture the Palace game. Here is the difference. Foden is Gundogan. Wirtz/Echeverry is McAtee. Haaland is De Bruyne. I know it doesn't perfectly add up, but I'm just trying to give you a picture. So your front two is Haaland, Marmoush. Behind them, you have Foden, Wirtz. Behind them, you have Rodri and, let's say, Nico Gonzalez. And then you've got that back four. Using the tactics boards is easier. Maybe it is. Maybe I should just get that out. I need to go in like 5 minutes. Let's do that. Okay, fine. You guys have pulled my hand. I'll get my tactics board out. Let me show you what I mean. Let me just name these players for a second. Un momento, por favor. So let's say, I know Ederson's probably not going to be here, but let's just have Ederson because why not? Again, we're going to say we're signing Wirtz because why not? This is just for this thought experiment. And then we got the left back there as well. And I think that is everyone, is it? So left back, you. Right back, yeah. Let's get rid of you, I think. And then we just like want like a Nico, let's say. And again, that might be a new signing. Like we are linked with we're linked with what's he called? Reinders? I don't know how you pronounce his name. Anyway. Right. Oh my gosh. For some reason I'm over here now. I don't know why. Right. This is what I'm trying to say. Oh my gosh. Right. This is what I'm trying to say. So, out of possession. And again, this is the Palace one. The Palace system. I'm not saying that we are going to necessarily do this. It's more the in possession one I'm interested in. Now, out of possession, you could easily do this, or you could do this. Doesn't actually matter. Okay? It's more both work. It's more the in possession where it's more interesting. Yeah? Again, doesn't really matter. Out of possession is whatever. There's no weakness because you got a Rodri Nico pivot. You got two pressing forwards. Foden and Wirtz out on the wings. They're not a vulnerability out of possession. That's fine. Again, alternatively, for a more aggressive setup within a 4-3-3, you could just do that. That also works. That's fine. Wirtz is in the right wing. You're missing the point. This is out of possession. Chill. It's fine. It's all about in possession. It's all about in possession. Don't worry about it. It's all good. So, again, like out of possession, you could have like a 4-3-3 here with Marmoush and Wirtz as the widest players. And again, it doesn't really matter. Now, this is how it could work if we are doing Palace situation. You need actual fullbacks. Yeah, you need actual fullbacks. I'm not going to swap Foden and Wirtz for a very good reason, which we'll get into in a moment. You need the, as I say, proper fullbacks here. Someone asked, where's Diaz? Don't worry about it. This is just for illustration purposes. Also, this is like a defense for the future. Don't worry about it, yeah? It could be Cavazio there and then whoever. Again, maybe picture that as like Cambiasso and that, or that's Cambiasso and the other's O'Reilly. It doesn't matter. This is for illustration. Again, if you want to say that this is Nunes, then that can be Nunes, and this can be Nico O'Reilly. It doesn't really matter what it is. It doesn't matter. This is what I've just put left back, right back to not cause confusion. In possession, and again, this is exactly what happened against Palace. In possession, this happens. So you technically still got your back four with the pushing on fullbacks. So again, the width comes from the fullbacks in general. Rodri, Nico's two ahead. Foden, Wirtz now go to central positions. Because again, the width is coming from the fullbacks. Yes, McAtee played at right wing, technically against Palace, out of possession. Did he play right wing on ball? No, he didn't. That is the point. The width came from the fullbacks. And then you now have your two strikers. Again, this looks really ugly, but you can hopefully see what I mean. Yeah? Again, don't worry about it. Like, you can put them there, This for illustration purposes only. Yeah? The point being that this is how he played against Palace on ball. Yeah? It's a relatively narrow team. That's not necessarily a problem if you have really good orchestrators and first touch players in the centre, and as long as width is provided by the fullbacks. Exactly, Musty. That's exactly what it is. It is a double false winger system, basically. And again, these two lads will push up a bit more. So whilst Vert is, and this is why I said don't worry about Vert starting on the right. He's not actually starting on the right. He's just doing what McAtee was doing. That's all. And again, you're getting bogged down in details. This is who we have right now. Swap out Nico for whoever. You get me? Reinders, it doesn't matter. This is for illustration purposes. That is the point. And that actually works. Well, we know it works because we saw it work against Palace offensively. Some issues need to be sorted out defensively. That works quite nicely. MCFC with a super chat. Thank you, matey. Fortune for MCFC. Wealth awaits you very soon. Oh, my. Out of possession. The lineup never makes sense. It's all good. It does make sense. It does make sense. It's chill. It's chill. It's all good. It's all good. Again, you can either have a 4-3-3, and if people want to say, oh, you know, Foden in the midfield, well, yeah. And also, you can't tell me. I mean, we've seen a midfield. We've seen a bloody midfield with Kova, Bernardo, Gundogan. You can't tell me that this midfield three is worse than that. It's actually very good. You got a good mix there. You could even change it up slightly to like that if you really wanted to. You don't have to, but you really could. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's all good. Or you could have like someone there and like there. It doesn't really matter. The point is, that is how I'm trying to rationalize. That's how I'm trying to rationalize what could be on the cards for next season. Again, that's a prediction. I would love to see this. What's your opinion on Gibbs White as a Verts alternative? It's a bit upsetting to me, to be honest, matey. I'm not moved. The hate is overblown. He's a fine player, but he's not really what I'm after. Yes, Kenneth, but that's going to be the case with every single system that we go for. We know that we need a right back. Like, that's a given. That's a given. It's a thing. It's all good. This is a really good... I'm very happy with this team. This is an option. Another option is to have wide players there. Again, don't be worried that Marmoush is technically out of possession on the left here, or whether it's on the left here and then Foden pushes up. It doesn't actually matter. On ball. As long as you give Marmoush... This is, for me, in a City side, this is Marmoush's position. He's a left winger with an overlapping option. He's like an inside forward, like an old school inside forward. That's how I think we need to view Marmoush. Technically a left winger, but in reality, someone who pushes in more centrally with that overlapping option. That's what I think Marmoush is. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm now going to... exactly, Herbal. And it depends on the system. Sometimes you'll want a Savio. Obviously, you want that Doku and Savio or Bob sometimes on the pitch. Sometimes you want that. Sometimes you don't, as we have seen. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Big up to Abanad for becoming the latest Ultra. Shout out to all of my Ultras. Abanad, you won't be in this list here that's about to come on the screen, but I will be adding you to this list. Shout out to everyone who is here. You are beautiful, beautiful human beings, and we should go have a hot chocolate sometime. That would be a beautiful time had by all. As I say, not available tonight because I'm going to a concert with Mrs. Nobbins because she's asked if I would go, and of course I have said yes because that's a nice thing for fiancés to do to each other. That's a thing. I will be back tomorrow evening. Chat quit shit when. Jack, to be fair, you were a supporter on the Patreon for ages. So, maybe I'll have like legacy people on here. Maybe that's a good thing to do actually, because yeah, maybe I'll have like legacy people on here. No watch along tonight, but tomorrow we will be doing Real Madrid against Arsenal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, big W to the chat. We've had a healthy amount of people in here, which has been wonderful. And yeah, expect more lovely stuff from me in the near future. Thank you guys for all your patience with me. I know I'm not the best content creator, but thank you guys so much for sticking with me. It does really mean a lot. Have a lovely rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow for Real Madrid against Arsenal. Goodbye, guys. This is awkward. Goodbye.